lot of people keep their wrists down like this, and they're hitting it. I felt driven on it. Flick it up. Pumps were good on it, and they're hitting it. I felt driven on it. Flick it up. Strong as heck on it, and they're hitting it. Finish him.
What up, homies? It's Garage Gym Homie, and today I'm doing a quick video about triggers for drug addicts and alcoholics. Is it worth it? Before we get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out all the dang time for you, man. So click subscribe and let's get into this, homies. God bless all of you. Hope you're feeling amazing, living from the heart, staying out of the noisy head. It's crazy up there, man. You know, I've been to 20 different rehabs. Between rehabs, sober livings, detox centers, all that, 3/4 houses, halfway houses, 5/8 houses, all sorts of houses, homie. I've gotten a lot of bad information, man. They toss out a lot of bad information that doesn't align up with my real life experience of sobriety and what actually works and how I've stayed sober for good. A lot of the stuff that they teach about is therapeutic, which means that it happens in the brain. It's about retraining how you think and all that. Unfortunately, we can't think our way out of this illness. You know, I just drug addicts and alcoholics, we're so dang smart. A lot of us, some of us not so smart, but some of us are. It's not just about thinking your way out of this thing. You can't think your way out of this disease or this illness, whatever it is. We need something more. And so if my thinking is the problem in the first place, the way I think, my resentment, my fear, my selfishness, my alcoholism, my addiction centers in my mind, centers in my brain. My thinking is the problem. I'm not going to go to this for the solution. I'm going to get away from this and go to this. I need something more, and that's what the 12 steps do. So one of the things I learned in a ton of the rehabs, man, what I call it rehab talk, treatment center talk, I call it, is about triggers. And they teach you about learning your triggers. And that doesn't work for us, man. Any plan that's made on avoiding temptation is a plan that's just doomed, homie. That's a plan that's headed for failure. I can't live in the world as an alcoholic or addict avoiding temptation. I can go anywhere today where any free man can go. Hold on. As long as I have a reason to be there, and as long as my spirituality is in check. So if I got to get out of my head, I got to go to my heart. This has to be in check. My spirituality, my relationship with God, whatever you want to call it. Following my heart, staying out of my head, the 12 steps, whatever it is, whatever happens in here has to be in order. And I can go anywhere where any free man can go. So let's talk about that. I've dated women in sobriety. I went to bars. I've been to nightclubs. I've been to places like that. Because of the 12 steps, and because of the program, and because of the spirituality, God has lifted my obsession to drink and get high. That's been lifted from me. That means there are no triggers. I'm completely protected. I go to a bar, I don't see alcohol being served and oh my God, my heart starts beating and I need a drink. I gotta call my sponsor. Oh my God, I'm in trouble. That's not how it works. If you have your ducks in a row. How it works is I go to God and I say, God, I'm looking to date. Am I going to this bar later tonight because I'm, meeting a girl? We're going to have a nice time. We're going to go to a restaurant. They serve alcohol there, whatever, dance, whatever it is. Are my motives good? And I have to listen to my heart. And I hear, what I hear in my heart. And I go to that nightclub and I have a nice time. I'm protected. I don't have a reason to be in a dope house. My motives wouldn't be good to be in a dope house. So I'm not going to go to a dope house. So we got to always check what are our motives. Do we have a reason to be there? Are we trying to steal some vicarious fun? What's our purpose for being at this place? I can go. And here's the thing, man. Just because I can go to bars or casinos or things like that doesn't mean I do. Just because I can and there's no temptation to drink or get high or whatever, because I'm not the same person I used to be, man. It's not fun for me anymore. I did all that in sobriety. I went to bars and nightclubs and hung out, and I was the sober guy, and but I didn't feel like I belonged there. So I learned from that. I grew from that. I was like, you know what? I just want peace in my life. I don't want craziness and a place, I've been to a casino in sobriety, and I looked around and it seemed like a bunch of people were zombies. And I thought, man, this is not a spiritual place. I don't want to be here. This feels like an ugly place for my soul. There's no temptation to drink. There's no temptation to get high. But I have no business really being there because that's not who I am anymore. So I'm going to listen to my heart. So it's important to know. And this is one of the promises that we don't avoid temptation. I don't see, remember wet faces, wet places? I've heard that one in treatment centers, avoid people you used to get high with, this and that. I don't avoid them because I'm tempted to get high. I avoid them because I don't avoid them at all, first of all, but I don't surround myself with them purposely because it's just not fun anymore. What do I have in common with them if they're still getting high? I'm not there to convince them otherwise or anything. I'm not there to have a good time and just not do drugs. I don't want to be around people getting high or whatever. So it's not about avoid triggers. That's not what this is. You can't. Your sobriety plan, my sobriety plan, cannot be made around avoiding temptation. And people who aren't addicts or alcoholics, they'll never understand that. I never had family put alcohol away because I was sober. I never had, I've been around people in sobriety smoking weed and stuff. I don't enjoy it anymore, man. I don't want to be around it, So I have to make a decision with each individual situation, and that's between me and God. Is this a right place for me to be? But I'll tell you one thing, man, and this is one of the gifts of sobriety. You would have told me that there were no triggers back when I was doing heroin and crystal meth, I would have laughed at you, man. I would have thought, that's impossible, man. I'm always tempted to do this and that, and everything's a freaking trigger. If everything's a trigger, everything's a freaking trigger. It's a nice day, what a trigger. It's a garbage day, what a trigger. I got fired, what a trigger. Oh, I have a job, oh, I'm triggered. Oh, there's a nice looking girl coming over, I'm triggered. Everything's a trigger if you have triggers. But God is everything to me. God protects me. These 12 steps protect me. So there are no triggers, man. I don't see a movie and see somebody come on the screen and they're getting high and, oh my God, my mouth is salivating, my heart is up and racing, and oh, I'm triggered, I gotta go get high, oh my God, what did I just see? That's craziness, man. That's being untreated. So I just want to let you know one of the gifts of sobriety. I used to sit around AA meetings, man, around all the holiday times. And I don't even go to many AA meetings anymore. I go to one a week, and it's the one we started. I used to sit around during the holiday times, and they would have these meetings about how am I going to get through the holidays sober? And I thought, man, that's freaking sad, homie. How am I going to get through the holidays sober? I'm sitting at the dinner table with freaking literally my eyes tearing up that God allows me to be at the holidays. So how am I going to get through them? I'm freaking blessed. I'm alive and here. I'm not thinking about how am I going to avoid drinking alcohol or temptation. How am I going to get through the holidays? So a lot of this is perspective. Is sobriety a struggle or is sobriety a gift? Sobriety is a gift, homie. One of the biggest I've ever received. I mean, a relationship with God's the biggest gift I've ever received, because without that, there is no sobriety. But after that, sobriety is the biggest gift I've ever received. It's not a struggle. And if you're struggling, well, that's okay, but you need to recognize that you're missing something and that it doesn't have to be a struggle. Sobriety can be a gift if you do the 12 steps out of the book as they're written, or you live a spiritual life. You know, you'll never come to me and hear me say that the 12 steps are the only way. AA is the only way. I don't believe that, man. I believe God's the only way. And if you can find God and spirituality and clean up the past in a way that the 12 steps outlines, then go for it. Do it some other way. The 12 steps just happen to give a perfect blueprint and plan on how to do that, how to find God and how to find spirituality. But I haven't seen one person who is a real addict or alcoholic like me, like a die-hard dope fiend, who doesn't live a spiritual life, who had the same experience as me with that obsession being removed and not having triggers and stuff like that. That's a result of spirituality in the 12 steps. So I just wanted to give a message of hope out there, man, that you don't have to think your way out of this thing. You don't have to think about all the triggers and things to avoid in your life, man. God guides us and God protects us. And that's the hope and the promises that the 12 steps give. And I'll tell you this, I'm here for any one of you who need a sponsor, who want someone to take you through the 12 steps. I would be honored to do that, man. You hit me in the email, garagegymhomie@gmail.com. That's my number one purpose. I would be honored to guide you through it, so you don't have to find somebody, man. I work with people all the time that I met through the channel who are willing to be done for good and ready to do whatever it takes. But it's going to be your sweat, homie. It's going to be the book's way. Not my way, not my sponsor's way. We can do it by the book. And you can have the same promises as I got. So I just want to put that out there for everyone. There are no triggers, unless there are, and then everything's a trigger. You know, so just remember, man, that's the message of hope. God bless all you, man. Together, let's get this dang muscle. I'm out.